All right, let's get right into it today. So we're in the book of Acts, chapter 4, verses 11 and 12. So I'm going to read this. So Acts 4:11 says, "He is the stone which was rejected by you." Now this is Peter saying this, the Apostle Peter. So I'm going to start over. "He is the stone which was rejected by you, the builders, but which became the chief cornerstone." And then verse 12, which I have highlighted in my Bible, says, "And there is salvation in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven that has been given among men by which we must be saved." So where's Acts? It's in the New Testament, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, Acts, chapter 4, verses 11 and 12. So what's a stone? What's a rock? What is a stone and what is a rock? Because that chapter and those verses talk about a rock and a stone. So what is a stone? Anybody? Yeah, it's solid material from the ground. So if that's a stone, what's a rock? Yeah, it's the same thing. A rock and a stone is basically the same thing. So what's a pebble? Yeah, a pebble is just a little rock or a little stone. But you know what? I was looking at some stones today, and take a look at this stone. Can you see this? Look how pretty that is. See how pretty that amethyst is? You know that stuff like this you can find in the beautiful state that we live in Arizona? Look at this beautiful stone. Look at this beautiful rock right here in Arizona. And you know what? God makes this. Man doesn't make something like this. God makes this. So let me show you another stone or another rock. So up here, look at this. Beautiful. Look at this beautiful, snowy. You imagine this? You could find this in Arizona too. It's basically, if you look at the outside, it's a rock. But when you break it open, look at inside of this. Look how beautiful it is. It's like snow. It's like snow inside there. Is that not beautiful? Only God can make this type of stone and this type of rock. So where do you find stuff like that? Well, first of all, you got to look on the ground. So if you're looking for stones and rocks, you got to look on the ground. You can't look up in the sky because that's where the birds are. You got to look on the ground. But today's Bible verse talks about Jesus as the cornerstone. I'll get to that in a second. Look at this stone right here. It doesn't look like much, does it? But if you put light on it, see how it sparkles? This is actually a mineral. This is called manganese. So we'll put some manganese over here. Look at this crystal. This you can dig out of the ground in Arizona too. This, isn't that beautiful? Look at that beautiful stone. Now let's go, and if you look on the other side of it, it just looks like a rock. But then if you turn it over, look at that. You can find that in Arizona, just like the manganese. This is in Arizona. See how sparkly that is? Let me show you something else. That just looks like a white and black rock, doesn't it? But you know what this is? Well, let me tell you what this is. This is volcanic glass. So when the lava cools down, it turns to glass. This is called obsidian. But when you polish it, it looks like this. But see, it just looks like a black stone. But if you put the light the other direction, you can see through it. That's called translucent. So even though that rock just looks like this, it's glass. It's translucent. So let's go back to our Bible verse. Let's go back to our Bible verse. Now, those of you that have been in my class before do know that if it's in blocks, we say it together. Jesus, I didn't hear you. Jesus is the stone that the builders thought was not important. So the people didn't think Jesus was important. So they thought he was that stone that wasn't important. But this stone has become the cornerstone. Say it again. Cornerstone. Jesus, say it again. Jesus is the only one who can save people. His name is the only power in the world that has been given to save anyone who we must be saved. Anyone. We must be saved through him. So Jesus is the cornerstone. But what's a cornerstone? We talked about these stones. We talked about the crystal and the obsidian, and you saw that beautiful Arizona amethyst that you can see here in Arizona. So you might want to ask your parents and go, hey, let's go look for some rocks. But what's a cornerstone? Our Bible verse today says that Jesus is the cornerstone. So what do you think it is? I can't hear you. What do you think a cornerstone? Yeah, it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the cornerstone of a building. So for example, if this is a building, this is the cornerstone. So you see how all the other rocks or blocks are built on top of it? Some of you have seen my little church before. In a building, the cornerstone is normally the first stone that is laid when they start putting the bricks. And let me tell you why that's important. It's important because if you put the cornerstone in crooked, the building will be crooked. So the cornerstone right here has to be straight so that the building can be straight. So let's go back to what Acts 4:11 and 12 said. It says that Jesus is that cornerstone. He's the cornerstone that the builders forgot. No, we didn't forget Jesus. Jesus is the most important person in our faith as Christians. He is our cornerstone that everything is built on top of. And we know that because God has said that. He has said that Jesus is your salvation, just like our verse says. So Jesus is that cornerstone that we build our faith on. And as we trust Jesus, our faith becomes stronger. The cornerstone. Jesus is that cornerstone. Now, this church, is the church a building? Well, a church can be a building. But is the church a building? No. The people inside the church is what Christians are. It's not the church itself, it's the people. So it's us. It's not the church. It's just made out of rock or stone, right? It's us. Jesus is our rock. Jesus is our cornerstone. So this week, think about that rock. Think about living that life of Jesus and be that cornerstone. But before you go, I want to show you this one. Look at this crystal formation. Isn't that pretty? Now, if we go upside down, it just looks like a flat, sparkly rock. But if we turn it like this, look at that beautiful crystal. Now, you can find these in the state of Arizona, but you got to look down. So this week, trust in God, trust in Jesus, the rock to help with your troubles. And obey him so that you can live like that living stone. And who is that living stone? The cornerstone. That living stone is Jesus. So, today we're rocks, and I showed you a few rocks, but always remember, Jesus rocks. Yeah, he does. Jesus rocks. And remember, he's our cornerstone. And everything is built upon that rock. Everything is built upon Jesus. So, next time you're outside and you're looking for rocks, do you look up in the sky? Oh, you know what? That's where heaven is, so you might want to, but don't look in the sun. But if you're outside looking for rocks, look down on the ground. That's where you're going to find them, right? Yeah. But look into your heart for that cornerstone. And trust God that he'll be there with you because, did I say this already? Jesus rocks. I'll see you next time.